Okay, hello everybody. So it says I'm live, but I'm just checking on my phone really quick. Let me turn the volume down because I don't want a crazy echo. Hello, and welcome to the very first live of the Chaotic Entrepreneur. Hi, that's me. I am the Chaotic Entrepreneur. The most chaotic, I swear. Let's see. I'm looking for my account, and it's being tricky because I don't have any videos posted yet. So it's like, why are you searching for this person? They don't have any videos. Um, hold on. I can do this. Let's see. I just want to make sure I'm live. I would just hate here. I can do it on my computer really quick. I know I'm live. And it's fine. But just in case, I want to check. View your channel. Live. Okay, perfect. I'm so sorry to waste the first 2 or 3 minutes of our time together just checking if I'm live, but got to make sure the tech gods are on our side. So, hello everybody. My name is Megan. I am the Chaotic Entrepreneur. Welcome. So I kind of just wanted to do this live to have you all get to know me, and as the title says, why should you trust me to help you start your business? So I think there's a lot of business coaches out there. I know there's a lot of business coaches out there, and I just think it can be confusing and stressful trying to pick which one is the right fit for you. So I always recommend getting to know a coach a little bit before you work with them. And the best way to get to know a coach is through their free stuff. And so I am slowly building up my my free resources for you all to check out. So I figured in the meantime, while I build up some of the courses and printouts and all of the cool free stuff I'm going to offer you, I figured in the meantime I could just hop on YouTube and do some lives that are also free so that you can get to know me and understand why I love business so freaking much. So, okay, a little bit about me. Let's see, should we start with my business journey, or should we start with who I am as a person now? Because those are very different people, the beginning of my journey versus now. Let's start with a little bit about me. So, hello, my name is Megan. I am 30 years old. I am a mom and wife. I have 3 kids, a 4-year-old and 2 9-month-old twins. I love being a mom. I've always wanted to be a mom. It's also the hardest job in the entire world. And I say that as an entrepreneur of 3 different businesses. Raising my kids is harder. I mean, it's way better also though, so it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I love my kiddos so much. My husband is the best person ever. We've been together almost 15 years. We've been married for 6 or 7, I think. I love him. I love him so much. He's just the best. He's kind of sick right now, so I feel bad for him. I actually need to go check on him after this, make sure he's okay. But anyway, I am autistic and ADHD. I also deal with major depression, so that's some of my brain soup, which is a big part of my business journey because I did start as a mental health coach, and I'm currently an ADHD life coach as well. So what else do you need to know about me? I run 3 different businesses, including this one. I run the Neuro Curiosity Club, which is my ADHD and neuro-curious life coaching business, where I do life coaching. I have digital products and courses. I have a membership that's only $3 a month. I mean, it's pay what you can, but starting at $3 a month. And I love the Neuro Curiosity Club. That's the business I've been running the longest, for sure, although it's had many different iterations. My second business is called the Radical Enneagram, and it's all about the Enneagram, which, if you don't know, is a personality typing system that I absolutely freaking love. I mean, I love the Zodiac and Myers-Briggs and all of that as well, but I'm telling you, the Enneagram is especially for us traumatized girlies, it's great. It's really, really great because the Enneagram tells you not just who you are, but why you are that way, and what you can do if you want to change that, and or if you want to adjust it slightly, and not here's how to be a totally different person, but it's just a very dynamic personality typing system, and I really love that about it. So Anyway, that's that business. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about it. And then my third business is this one, the Chaotic Entrepreneur. This is my newest business. I am so excited to start business coaching. I did do a little bit of business coaching back in like 2021, 2022, but at that point I'd only been in business for a year or two, and I've learned so much since then, and I feel really ready to like jump back into it. I had a great time doing business coaching. At the time though, I didn't have a VA. I didn't have very good systems on the back end. And so I just couldn't keep up with running two businesses, but I've been running two businesses for a while now, and I feel really ready to add on a third. And I know that might sound totally insane to some of you, but I think a lot of you, if you're watching this, it's called the Chaotic Entrepreneur for a reason. I think a lot of you are going to get it and like understand. I just have a lot of interests, and I don't really want to combine them necessarily. I just want to run three businesses. So that's what I'm doing. Excuse me. So let's talk about my business journey. So I started blogging in 2018. I had just graduated with my master's in poetry, and I was freelancing. Fun fact, I've never had a 9-to-5 job. I did try. It didn't work out. Instead, freelancing really worked out. I had a lot of freelancing clients who paid me well and who had lots of work for me. So I did that for like 3 or 4 years, I think. So anyway, 2018 though, I was freelancing and I started a blog. It was called Megan Writes Everything, and it was literally an everything kind of blog. I wrote about social justice, and I wrote about motherhood, and I wrote about feminism, and I wrote about buying a new laptop. Like I tried to write some humor articles and stuff. So like I kind of just dabbled in everything, and I had a really good time doing that for like 2 years. And I probably posted an article every single week for like 2 years or pretty close to it. So I had a lot of practice with being consistent. And then in 2019, I had my first kiddo, and I kept blogging and stuff, but it hit 2020, late 2020, and the pandemic was raging, and I had a kid, and I realized I couldn't keep blogging for free. I just didn't have the capacity anymore. It really needed to start making me money, or I needed to stop. And I really didn't want to stop. So what I did, October of 2020, I started my business. I transformed the whole blog. I turned it from Megan Writes Everything into Healing Unscripted. And I really focused in and zoned in on mental health. To me, that was niching down. Now, I know mental health is a huge niche, and that really I probably should have niched down even more, but I just niched down to mental health. And October of 2020, I launched my very first product. It was a course about holiday anxiety. I launched it for Black Friday, I think, and I think I sold like 4 or 5 at like $12 a pop. So that was pretty cool that like I started my business and I literally made money next month. Was it a lot? No, but it was still money that I made with my brain, like crazy. So fun. Then the really big thing for my business was in January of 2021, I started a TikTok. And on that TikTok, probably 2 weeks into January, I was like, okay, I'm just going to start calling myself a mental health coach, not a therapist, but a mental health coach, someone who uses their lived experience with mental health stuff to help other people with their experiences with mental health stuff. And I was really nervous to start coaching, but I was like, I'm just going to call myself a coach and I'm just going to practice. I literally get 200 views on my TikToks. Like, it's not a big deal. This TikTok went viral. The very first TikTok I ever announced myself as being a coach went bonkers viral. Like, we're talking 3 million views, okay? It went really viral. And I had probably somewhere between 30 and 50 discovery calls, which are like Zoom calls people can hop on to get to know me, to work with me as a coach, scheduled within like a week of that video going up. It was crazy. I had to go to my in-laws. I just lived at my in-laws for a couple of days so they could watch my kiddo, so I could do all these calls and everything, because I didn't have a good schedule set out yet, because I'd never done this before. It was wild. It was so wild. From those 40 or 50 calls, I think I landed 5 clients, which is not a great conversion rate, but it's a really good conversion rate when you realize that this was my first time doing any of this. And so I got 4 or 5 clients from that, and they were awesome. I really loved my first clients. Like, I still hold so much love in my heart for each and every one of them. I still connect with many of them. And the funny thing is, it took a couple of months for me to realize it, but after a couple of months, I was like, hang on. All of my clients are either autistic or ADHD or both. And I was like, that's so interesting. And at the time, I had no idea I was autistic or ADHD, or let alone both, you know? And I was like, that's so interesting. Like, I don't understand why I'm attracting these people. Like, it's fine. And I do think I can help. Like, I have a lot of experience with, like, oh yeah, I have trouble getting shit done. I have trouble focusing. I have trouble in social situations. Like, I can help you with that stuff. But it didn't occur to me that I actually had those diagnoses. So after a while, though, I really wanted to focus in on executive dysfunction, which, if you don't know, is like, it's a lot of things, but it's a lot of times when we talk about executive dysfunction, it's like the trouble starting. It's that trouble with, like, I want to do something and I feel like I can't and I don't know why. That's executive dysfunction. So I really wanted to focus in on that and make like a program on it. And so in June, I think, of 2021, I went ahead and did that, and I created it in 3 days. I sold it, and I sold like 8 spots in a week. It was so fun. Like, this is how I run my business. I just want to give you, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to give you a feel for how I do things. I get ideas, I execute ideas, and I sell ideas, and I go. And like, that is how I thrive. That's how I do best. Whenever I've tried to slow things down and be more consistent and steady and spread out, my business has actually suffered. Like, I don't sell as well when I'm not as excited, and I don't sell as well when I'm not like in that moment and with that momentum, right? So chaotic energy works for me. And I think that's a big reason why I wanted to start this business, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs are told, like, consistency is key, and I don't know, like, all this stuff. Like, there's a lot of business advice out there that just didn't work for me. And I'm really grateful that I have such a great business coach who also has ADHD and also didn't know it for a long time. And so we were just like chaotically vibing until both of us were like, oh, we're ADHD. Got it. And so that was really interesting and funny. But anyway, so I started this program and I rebranded my whole business from Healing Unscripted to Neurodivergent Magic. And it stayed Neurodivergent Magic for a very long time. I actually just rebranded to the Neuro Curiosity Club recently because it was brought to my attention that neurodivergent is a really big term. If you don't know this, this is just like, I'm going off on my special interest a little bit because I love neurodivergence. I love brain stuff and mental health. But neurodivergent is a really big umbrella term. It is not just autism and ADHD, although that is often how people use it and how I was using it, right? I was like, oh, I'm neurodivergent magic, but I really only focused on autism and ADHD. And so that didn't after a while, I just realized that this isn't aligned. This isn't like the right name anymore. And maybe it never was. But so I switched to the Neuro Curiosity Club. And the reason I went with that name is because I really love working with people who don't know where they fit. And I don't like working with those people because I can diagnose or something, because I cannot. I absolutely cannot. The reason I love working with those people is because I was also really lost for a long time and had no idea what my diagnoses were. I literally, over a decade, I had no clue. I had some diagnoses here and there. None of them ever felt totally right. It wasn't until 2022 that I was finally diagnosed as autistic and ADHD, and everything just freaking clicked, right? Like, it just made so much sense. So anyway, back in March, I think, of this year, March of 2024 is when I rebranded to the Neuro Curiosity Club. And I really love that branding. It's beautiful. It's very rainbowy. I had a graphic designer, or actually an artist, really design my logo this time, which is the first time I've ever had someone design a logo for me. And it's gorgeous. It's like a rainbow brain. I'm a huge fan. Excuse me. So anyway, that's been sort of my business journey when it comes to like the branding and all of that. So let's talk numbers. Okay. My first first full year in business, 2021, I made $15,000, which honestly is not freaking bad. That's more than $1,000 a month for my very first year in business. Now, I understand a lot of you might be listening and be like, that's great, but like I need to make more than that because this needs to like replace my full-time income. And I totally get that. For me, I was able to supplement my business with freelancing, and I also had my husband's income. So we were able to make things work with those three incomes kind of juggling each other. So we were able to make things work. Also, the pandemic was raging, so like we weren't going anywhere or doing anything, right? So expenses were kind of down. So that was my first year. In 2022, I tripled that. And I made $45,000. I think I actually made 46, which was such a good feeling. I was like, this is a real freaking income. Like, I can do this. It was so weird to me. Like, I was able to quit freelancing that year, and it was awesome because freelancing is great. I love freelancing. I think it's an excellent career for so many people, especially a lot of autistic ADHDers. But it was also like it was getting to be very boring to me, especially in comparison to how much I loved my business, right? Then in 2023, I was on track to make 6 figures. And then I got pregnant with twins. And it was a really hard pregnancy, you guys. It was this pregnancy. My first pregnancy was wonderful. I was like, I understand why women are pregnant, or people in general are pregnant all the time. Like, this is great. Like, I felt like I was glowing all the time. It was awesome. No, my second pregnancy was not like that. It was intense. Carrying twins is a lot. That's a lot on the human body, okay? But some pregnancies in general are just like that. And this was just a hard one. I had a lot of nausea. I had a lot of sciatica. I had a lot of fatigue. It was just really hard, and I really struggled. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to make 6 figures this year. Like, I had to cut back on so much. So that was okay. But then here in 2024, I did my taxes, and I had forgotten about a couple of income streams that I had. Like, I was making some money from TikTok and some money from YouTube, and I just had forgot about them. And I added it all up, and it was just by the hair on my chinny chin chin, but I did make 6 figures in 2023, which is so cool to me. So cool. Like, sorry, that was probably loud, but I know 6 figures is just like another arbitrary marker, really, especially fun fact, not so fun fact. And I haven't fact checked this, so I guess I probably shouldn't share it, but I saw a thing that said if your parents made, what was it, like $74,000 in the 80s, you would need to make $235,000 today to match that salary, like with how bad inflation has gotten and everything, which is not what we make with my husband's salary and mine together even, like, no. So anyway, 6 figures is arbitrary, but at the same time, like, it does make your life a lot easier. And the way my business coach describes it, like, yeah, money can't buy happiness, but it can solve a lot of fucking problems, right? And that's very much how I feel about money too. It's not like the end all be all, but it is important in the society that we live in. And like, to pretend it's not it doesn't make sense to me personally. So anyway, those are some of my numbers. 2024, again, now I'm not pregnant, but now I have twins. So I'm not totally sure if I'm on track to make 6 figures again this year. We might have a little bit of a dip, but we might not. We'll wait till I do my taxes and I gather up all my income streams. You never know. And we're only halfway through the year. Like, my trajectory could totally change. But I will say, having twins, especially because I kept them home the first 3 or 4 months of this year. So the first 6 months of their lives, they were home with me. They were not in daycare, and I was trying to run a business with 2 babies, and it was a lot. They're in daycare now, which is lovely, expensive as all shit, but lovely, and they love it. They get such good care there, so that's wonderful. But let's see. What else do you need to know about my business journey? I am not on TikTok anymore. I kind of I made an ass out of myself. I behaved really poorly, and then people reacted pretty poorly as well. It all just kind of escalated, and I kind of got canceled. Again, I acted poorly. I'm always going to be the first one to say that, right? But I also am not super convinced that I deserved some of the hatred that I got for behaving poorly. You know, regardless, TikTok no longer felt like the place for me to be, which really stunk because I grew my audience to over 300,000 followers over on TikTok. And I really, really loved creating over there. But at the end of the day, it didn't feel like people wanted me there anymore. And I didn't want to be somewhere where I wasn't wanted. So I kind of walked away from that. And that was really hard. That was really hard to walk away from that big of a following, you know? But the truth is, I'm doing okay. Like business-wise, I'm doing really well. First of all, I think messing up that badly really shaped my values now as a business owner. And I'm not going to go into exactly what happened because it's a whole thing and it's just not necessary. You just need to know I screwed up. I offended people. I was rude to people. I behaved poorly, and I offered something I had no business offering and all this stuff. So I behaved really poorly. And basically I had to ask myself, why am I behaving this poorly? Like why are so many like mistakes happening over and over and over? And I had to really ask myself that. And so I took an entire month off of content creation. I didn't create anything publicly at all. I did a little bit of work behind the scenes. I did a lot of work behind the scenes identifying my values as a business owner. And now those values are up on the Neurocuriosity Club website. Actually, it's on all my websites. I have values outlined because I think that's important for people to know where I stand and to hold me accountable for when it's like, hey, you said you value this and you're not sticking up for this at all. So anyway, kind of got canceled, left TikTok, and now I'm really focusing on Instagram, YouTube, and email. And those have been so good and so fun, frankly. Like, I love YouTube. I really love YouTube. I did not expect to love YouTube. YouTube is a lot of work. And so I thought it was going to wear me down and I wasn't going to like it, but it's just so fun. I love creating like these video essays and these lives. I've been going live on my other account as well. And like, that's been super fun. I just love chatting with people. And I know there's nobody watching right this second, but I'm hoping if you're watching the replay, please leave a comment. Let me know if you have any questions on how to do YouTube and all of that stuff. I'm, really hoping to create some content about how I do my YouTube and everything. And that way I can teach people because YouTube has been going really well for me. I've got like 30,000 subscribers, which is awesome and just like frankly very cool and surprising to me. Because I wasn't good at long form video at first because I got really good at TikTok, which is short form video. And I was like, how am I supposed to talk for more than like 2 or 3 minutes? I don't understand. But I've gotten way better at it. So that's really good. But yeah, so I primarily focus on Instagram, YouTube, and email nowadays. And I really love all of those forms of content creation. What else are we going to talk about here on this channel? Okay. So content creation is a big one because I have been called a content monster before because I produce a lot of content. I make a lot of things. I post on Instagram almost every day. I post on my stories almost every day. I post a YouTube. I was posting twice a week plus a live, but that's gotten to be a little much. So I think I'm going to do posting once a week plus a live. Anyway, I just want to be sure I can keep up. And that's just for the Neurocuriosity Club business. I also have the Radical Enneagram where I try to post on YouTube once a week. And I also post on Instagram a couple of times a week, not every day there. And then now we have the Chaotic Entrepreneur, which I'm hoping will have a video and a live every single week. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. I thought these lives on Mondays in the morning, at least Eastern time, would be really nice. That way you could start your week with some like business advice and some business like camaraderie, right? So I thought this time would be a good time for the lives and everything for this particular channel. So what else do you need to know about me and business? Okay. Something I do that really boosts my income, boosts my list, my email list, boosts everything in my business really is my annual summit. So for the Neurocuriosity Club, I run a summit every single year called the Neurodivergent Lived Experience Summit. And when I say neurodivergent in this context, I do mean it. We have all kinds of neurodivergent people in this particular summit, like not just autism and ADHD, like literally all kinds of neurodivergent people speak at this summit. So I run it the first weekend in January every year, unless the first weekend is like the first and second, in which case I wait till the next weekend, because that's everybody's hungover and tired. So yeah, and that's been just incredible. Like literally, I made like $13,000 my first time running it. And then I made, I think, almost $30,000 the last time I ran it, which is just so freaking cool. And not only that, but people really love it. Like the speakers are amazing, and the the speakers are great. The content is great. The attendees ask such wonderful questions and are so cool. So anyway, love running my summit. Summit is a key part of my annual strategy. I also just ran a bundle called the Not a Broken Neurotypical Bundle, and that went really, really well. That went really good. I don't remember numbers on that one because I ran it back in, I think, June? May. I ran it in May. And it's just been a minute, so I don't remember the numbers. But I'm also participating in more bundles, which has been really fun. I'm trying to participate in more summits. I love me a good summit. I love speaking. So I think that could be really fun. What else do you need to know about my strategy, my approach? Oh, a big part of what I want to coach people on is two things. First is switching your tech stack over to an all-in-one. Specifically, I use System.io. And the reason I recommend switching to System.io and using an all-in-one is because, first of all, it's almost always cheaper. System.io, at least. And now I know some all-in-ones are much more expensive, like Funnel Gorgeous or Kajabi or, all that stuff. But System.io is so affordable. And it's all in one place. You don't have to use Zapier to connect your email to your Flowdesk to your Thrivecart to your whatever. You can just keep it all in one place, and it's so nice. It's so nice. So I really recommend doing that just to save some money and also save some headache. So I'm coming up with a free, literally this thing should probably cost at least $200, and I'm going to give it away for free because I think people need it. And because I think it's a good list builder. Let's be honest about why business owners create really cool freebies. We do it because we want to help people, of course, 100%. And we do it because it's going to help grow our list. Let's be honest and transparent about why we do what we do in business. It's not just I am Pollyanna do-gooder. Of course I want to do good and help people. Of course. And I'm in business and I want to grow my list and I want to be compensated for my time and effort. And my list is how I do that a lot of the time. So anyway, that's the second thing I am going to be talking about a lot. So switching to System.io, having it all in one, all that. I have a really cool freebie coming out for you. That'll be out soon. And the second thing I'm going to talk about a lot is how to make money when you're a leftist. Because it's hard. That was probably the hardest part, and still is often the hardest part of running my business, is just my money mindset. Because I consider myself a leftist, a full-on, commie bitch, right? That's me. I do not think that capitalism is good. Period. At all. And I don't think that's a radical statement to say, but sometimes, especially in the business space, you can say stuff like that and people get real mad. So I don't think capitalism is a good system. I think it fails most of us. I think it rewards poor behavior a lot of the time. And at the same time, we live in capitalism, and I shouldn't say can't, because I do know some people who are trying this and I really respect the hell out of them. But generally speaking, you can't just opt out of capitalism. You can't just opt out of society. You need money to live. And you need money to live. And that sucks. When you really think about it, like, life is pay to play, and that's ridiculous. That's not okay. But that is the way it is, and I want you all to play. I want you all here. I want you all doing the thing and living life and like enjoying this life that you're living, right? And that's just hard to do without money. So how in the world are you supposed to make money in your business if you're also a leftist who hates capitalism? This has been a big thing for me, and I've worked very, very hard on it. So there's going to be, tons of stuff coming out about that. So that's one of the main categories, like, on my website. Everything says coming soon right now, so there's not like a ton of content just yet, although we are getting there. Things are brewing. But yeah, that's going to be a big area we talk about. So what are some of the other categories on there? How to start your business is going to be one. Productivity for chaos goblins is going to be another. How to make money as a leftist. Content creation. Oh, and then burnout prevention. Because the thing about operating as a chaos goblin means that sometimes you can drive yourself straight into burnout. And that's no fun. That doesn't feel good. That feels really shitty, frankly. So that's not what we want, especially because burnout, it's really hard to make money when you're in burnout. It's really hard. And then it's hard to survive, and it's hard to feel better because you're scrambling to make money, and it's a whole thing, right? It can lead to a very vicious cycle. So I want to help you be the chaos goblin that your heart calls out to be, but also without burning out. So that is the goal here. Let's see. Oh my goodness, I've been talking for 30 minutes already. All right, well, I'm going to cut it off here. Thank you all so much for anybody watching the replay. Go ahead and let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from. I would love to know, like, where are you guys from? I'm from Ohio. I'm in the United States. I'm from Ohio, which is like Midwest kind of. Lots of corn and soybeans, but also a couple of very big, very cool cities. You know, Cincinnati's great. Columbus is great. I haven't been to Cleveland, but I've heard good things. So anyway, let me know where you're tuning in from, and let me know if you have any business questions at all, especially when it comes to running a business in the chaotic way that your heart desires. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here, but I hope the rest of you have a wonderful, wonderful day.